Good morning, good afternoon. How are you doing today? When I asked how are you doing today, it's to provoke you to think. If I asked how you're doing today and the first thing out of your mouth is negative, meanwhile you call yourself someone who should be directing children's life to the way that they're supposed to be and go, imagine that you in that line of people who represent that fearful line in the life of innocent children would feel offended because I have the audacity to speak out because I know all the lies of every flag, city, country, state, territory, property, possession on the earth. It's really easy. You might ask yourself, how? How? First, God. Second off, the world has a way of talking too much. You can see it on Instagram every day. You can read it on Google every day. If you go and type in someone's name who's important and who's recognized as being someone of value with clout, you'll find out that to keep that clout, you have to let other people have more interaction with your character than need be. And when I say this, I mean especially rappers and even R&B singers. It happens in country music. It happens around the whole world. But it's so amazing that people would have the audacity to, again, let me go back. I'll get to the title in a minute. I'm thinking the title right now. Give me a second. But people have the audacity to actually self-profess their esteem, which is not esteemable at all, because the world is like Amway Global. The whole world is all the same. At the very, very, very bottom, you have the prisoners and children who are supposed to be broken. I would say children are at the very bottom even more than prisoners because the prisoners know why they would be in prison. The children don't know and would not know until later on in life. But when you have someone like me giving you super, super free jewels, just take this a few rack earrings right here, put them in your ear. Take this grill, it's $400,000 grill. You know, like when you really have the ability to give people jewels, people that the jewels are relatable to their self as an item of harm in a child's life, shouldn't be surprised, and I would expect people to want to be violent or act out violently or speak violently all the world. And this is the amazing thing about people's eyes, people's face, the lines in the face, the lines in the mouth, the eyes, how the skin around the eyes. This was crazy. Like I've thought about this a lot. And the topic for today is going to be the face. First off, there are many aspects of the word face. Face can be something that you see in the mirror. Face could be a situation that you're faced into facing it. And the only way that you can face is if you're not spiritually unfazed or societally unfazed by whatever determination from outside yourself, especially parents and any type of family, as well any religious group and all groups, which is to say, in short, that societally you have always known the ridiculousness of your face against what you have always faced all the nations and all the possessions and names relatable to all the encompasses the word nation in this age and the ages beyond. The word nation will not be used in the future. Slowly but surely, or all the way in twinkling of an eye. But I would say that it's better that people realize what they face and take face against it in what is not able to be expressed by saying, I have seen its face and live, when in reality, you have not seen the face of your nation's leaders in all history. To say that I have faced these leaders in their ignorance against God and I have won. The face, that was like 2 minutes just rambling. Really think about this one time. Okay, so let's get into this message. What I even, clicked the video button for was because I understand now what I face. My face has an expression on it because of what I have faced. But in the expression, which also interacts via my eyes, which are the windows of my soul. Soul is to say that I have a six and up sense in relationship to many aspects of life. But if it was not for the God of Jesus, I would not be redeemed from even fathoming that whatever I'm facing or have faced in the world at the time was really my concern. I have to understand that the reason why I have this face and the reason why I face situations is because it's to strengthen my character. It's to strengthen your character too. God is using situations, the enemy. In Christian churches today, the doctrine is ridiculous. And this is why I'm happy that I'm recognizing more and more why Jesus was not a Christian, why Jesus did not read the Bible or the Torah and the Dead Sea Scrolls, which are copywritten books for sale, because he was able to interact with God spiritually face to face, literally. And if you need some reference in the Bible, we have Job chapter 4, verse 12 to verse 17, and you'll see that there was a face to face interaction there. But I'm not going to divulge much into this because it's really at a level of you need to be accelerated to like a spiritual black belt and be able to prove spiritually, not physically, using these weird codes like let's go play Russian roulette. But at one time or another, that might be, makes sense. So, anyways, so what I'm saying is that humans are so quick, and animals that are domesticated in the wrong way not domesticated in God's favor, but domesticated in the favor of a flag or government. It's so amazing because for centuries, more than four, the type of doctrine and indoctrination and when I say doctrine, I mean academia and anything that's written via papyrus, scroll, a book. Like you're not gonna understand. Like it's making so much sense to me now. I'm gonna do another video later, but for those people that are with me, I'm just being led by the spirit right now. Ho shama lama lama ling ding dong. Go downstairs and get to. um, but no, seriously, because this is what it's like in the ghetto, which is not really anything different than what it's like in the HOA or gated community somewhere close to Bill Gates' permanent, legal residence. But what I'm realizing more and more is that the farther along you and I and those around us, all of us, go in life, this is so amazing. This is going to be a really, I'm like going spiritual message. We all go through similar events. Some people are born with no arm. Some people are born with no leg. Some people are born without any function of their brain relatable to God or society at the same time, which is, I can imagine. So, in my current situation of the things I face, I'm currently still getting through, all my internal gun wounds and my character before, during, and now, like during this whole situations. And I realize how dangerous it has always been for all the prophets. I have realized my whole life that it was dangerous for people my color, but the older I became, I was able to put words together to help people of color, of any color, understand that we're not the same. This is why God has always put me in the leader position in any group that I've been in. I was saying this yesterday, but it's like more so to dwell to for me to dwell that in this moment now is that when God puts His Spirit in your life on earth, one, God's Spirit is already giving you breath to breathe and to function, which is amazing because you never heard anybody preach like this before now. No, you haven't. Which is great for me. But what's amazing is that God gives breath to breathe. So you inhale in through nose, out the mouth, in through mouth, out the nose, in through nose, out the mouth, in through mouth, out the mouth, tread down, tread up, the left, the right. You do all these things as you watch the people around you. But as your baby, and this is what I'm talking about as a baby growing up now, moving into the message, starting to, are you just follow me? Seeking it. But as you start to become more mature, which is to literally resemble those things around you, which none of them resemble God enough to, again, listen to me, none of those things resemble God enough to stop, completely kill AIDS, COVID, cancer, Ebola, Zika, etc., diabetes, multiple sclerosis, all sorts of different handicaps, natural disasters. Do you understand what I'm saying? Why? Because as a baby, everything that you're looking at is the same thing that you've been looking at since 2019. But now you're just seeing it more realistic. You've never seen people wear masks in your life besides on Halloween or to do robberies on Halloween, which I've never done. I don't remember if I did, and I was really, really young. Like really young, 9 or something like that. I don't remember. But anyways, I don't remember. I'm just I'm serious. I don't remember. I don't remember though. don't try to chastise me, collective, and or Karmics or the Starseed or Hebrew or any of the nations, especially any nation with COVID. Good job. Anyways, as a baby, you come out of your mother and you see around you as your eyes open blurrily because you still got blur regoop on your face and blood particles or whatever, however it goes down. It has to be, you have to be rinsed off and cleaned. And after you're cleaned, you come out and who knows, maybe you still have a film over your eyes, like a snake. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna Google it later. But anyways, once the film's cleared or whatever, you start to see, clear enough. You are now recording from a fresh, clean slate that has never had any interaction with guns, sex, drugs, Christianity, Islam, a flag, a race, a religion, a nation, transgender, McDonald's. And as you start to, second by second of you being awake, you're processing. Because the subconscious is not limited to an adult, it's limited to human, a mammal. That's all mammals. It's amazing. This is why elephant could be like a baby and come whoop your ass when it's like, 40 years old. You go to Africa, it's crazy. Like you're, like, like you go to like a safari or whatever, and an elephant can see you after 50 years, and like be like, well, my front paw feels like just crushing this whole safari. Something over there is right there, city right there. I remember that mother because that whole time my subconscious has been processing all the lies out of myself, which is the id, the idea, which becomes knowledge as you go along. To be, I know myself because I have thought unconsciously, subconsciously, and etc. etc. So back to the scenario I was painting. So this child, baby, even during the waking hours, is processing and knowing. Likewise, when the baby or child is sleeping, processing and knowing. When the baby wakes up and is a 10-year-old, 11-year-old, 12-year-old girl or boy, imagine all the hatred toward the world that's suppressed because as from the child unto an adult, especially a child, just like let's say 10 years old, everyone around you is telling you this lie is real because they don't know their self. Even the government workers, presidents, Secret Service, FBI, Army, Navy, Marines, DOD, NSA, the White House is a building. It's inanimate. It's inanimate. You have torn. People are crazy, bro. Sidebar. We're gonna have like a side little succession. Nothing that is processed is alive. It's dead. This is why the world is so dead, yo. You ever been on a bed and you're just uncomfortable? You have to go sleep on the floor, and the bed could be brand new. And we tested it out, it felt perfect. But then when you come home and you lay on the bed, it's like, damn, I don't like this. Even a waterbed. I've had a waterbed that just I don't know, whatever. But anyways, like this is because you have innate sense of what the truth is, but the world around you is continually telling you lies. End of sidebar. So back to the discussion. All you have to do in my videos is rewind them. If you ever feel like there's something going on that's crazy and you go to the script and you want to like comment, just go to the script and we'll talk about it. And I can in-depthly help you understand where you and I are not crazy, but you probably are not conscious enough or intellectual enough to understand anything I say when I really just, relax and just say it. because you're not made to. Hallelujah, you're not redeemed. This is me talking to all the karmics, the world. You're not redeemed. The only way you can be redeemed is by and through God, literally God, the Spirit, singular, and through his people. This is why all the nations can be blessed or cursed through Abraham, which means that when you read in the book of Psalms, chapter 148, 149, especially 149, you start to see that you have the power to take the kings and the powerful people and bind them up and incarcerate them from all the nations, including the jailers, including the presidents and the imams and the pastors. It's amazing. You're born with this. You're not born being Puerto Rican. You're not born being black. You're not born being white. You're not born a Christian or Muslim. That's a lie. If you were, you would already know the doctrine. You can't know the doctrine because it was created by the earth. It does not exist in heaven. This is why COVID is against all of that. So you, when you hear the seed of David speak, you don't have any rebuttal. When you hear the real Messiah, the Hebrew people speaking, you don't have any rebuttal. I'm not the Messiah of Jews. I'm not the Messiah of Christians or Muslims or Puerto Ricans or blacks or whites or Latinos, Rome, or their mixed conquested people. I'm the Messiah of my people. But if you listen to me, then you'll hear God speaking through me and you won't ever have a problem in your life. I promise. But if you think that what I know, which your parents taught you, which were taught by their parents, all the way back to Canaan, who was a descendant of a man who was holy enough to be removed out of a flood, but his son was a voyeuristic voyeur like Cam, Era, Cam, son of Noah, watching Noah nakedly, being turned on, Era, a century, a moment of that, AVN Awards, ran by the same people who run Hollywood, who Kanye West cannot talk against because he could be killed for it. Making sense? Good job. But when you're really able to understand what I just said, you understand who the true Messiah of his people is God. So this is why I'm so humble. I don't need to be prideful because when I was born innately with the truth inside myself, and the world could never really apply enough pressure like two doughs, like clay, you know, molded together to make, different colors and building. Like, I love clay when I was younger. I'm gonna freaking make sure I always have clay for my children to play with. Like, we're gonna build like big things, like a clay car. What you talking about? But anyways, I'm serious. But this is a difference between us, the redeemed, and the world. And this is why every day I get calmer and calmer, because you, the world, all the nations, the flags, every city, every town, every religion, you don't know God personally since you were born, because your parents, your grandparents, your great grandparents, your ancestors, and all their last names that are powerful and have meaning and have stars and symbols aligned with them that are so great. You've never known God. God has never known you. This is why the Bible was changed after the Torah, because the Torah was just for Jews. The Bible is literally just for Christians and Catholics that are Christian and Catholic denominations, not Lutheran Christians or Presbyterian, which was also started by a Lutheran himself. Martin Luther himself. Everything outside of that is a denomination, which is to say that What I just say? Are you dumb or what? So how does this all go back into the main message, which didn't start until like 7 minutes into the video? Are you riding with me now? Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Ooh. You heard that Tinashe song? Take you on a joyride. Dun, 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 dun. Ride in your life. Anyways, I love Tinashe music. Shout out to Tinashe. So what I'm saying, what I have been saying, which is disrespectful as fuck, hell, Jesus Christ, whatever you wanna, astaghfirullah. It is disrespectful because it's all you know. You get mad because it's all you know. In the past, I can't even call it mad, but I have been mad, but I just, but the reason why is because let me be a guest. Let me be the guest. So you are the nations who were not freed out of Africa with Moses and all my people and our African servants. Does that make you good or bad? You tell me, and you show me, and you show your nation, and you, among your nation, house for house, town for town, through all these centuries of your nation existing on the earth that my God made, that your nation has been built upon since you were living in clay houses or dung houses, even in all the areas of the earth that have houses and apartments and condos on them right now. Like, you tell me, show me. I've been seeing it my whole life, and I never thought ill of it. I've been hearing it my whole life and never thought ill of it until I was able to recognize when I felt uncomfortable after someone made me feel uncomfortable when I was a child. And then the more after she made me feel uncomfortable, the more I was able to feel uncomfortable in the church because I would read the Bible standing on my head when I was a child in my adopted mother's house. True story. And because I have always been the weirdo, that black sheep, not goat or black, but you call me a Hebrew sheep, I can go for that. Good job. But when I was younger, I was always reading everything in a library. I can be the first person to say that my adopted mother, my second adopted mother, after I left England, she was really she was really religious, but she has spiritual tribute that is the reason why I'm doing this video right now and not waiting on death row or already dead on death row, literally, with my friends, some of my best friends that I grew up with. Because when I was younger, she instilled at the right time ass whoopings. I was too late to have her love or hate me, which would have been love the most, and for what she knew, which was Kojic Church, Church of God in Christ, Pentecostal Church. But those ass whoopings or, instructions by the staff, rod, belt, belt and knife simultaneously in the hand. The knife is for like getting too wild. This belt is the belt is to keep you tame. This belt is the knife is you're going to get this whooping because you need it. And if I don't do this to you, if I don't have this knife out or you see it, you're not gonna be whatever, scared if somebody has a real knife that really wants to kill you, not just beat you, some sense into you. Hallelujah. So I thank, rest in peace, my adopted mother, for that sidebar. Now back to what I was saying before I said that. What would you think if all you knew was just what you know because of what you know it to be? and there was a gun or knife around, or a rock, or, Cain and Abel. Sidebar, you ready? Cain, all he knew was what he knew, so he took pride in that. Abel took pride in that too. Who died? Who killed who? Why? Because that was all he knew. Because God did not esteem Cain to open his mind beyond killing his brother. Why? That's up to God. Did Cain kill his brother? Did God tell Cain to kill his brother? That's all you need to know. Now, I want you to keep the same mentality through the Bible and back to the child in the beginning. As you get older, the people around you, the situation around you encourage you to know a certain lifestyle that are lies. No one around you could be expected to know better than you know, because you that have not been redeemed in truth don't know any better. And it's not a shame to you or to myself or my people. It's just to say that you have always known that you were not redeemed, because you can look back to the book of Exodus, and no one, especially Christian, Jews, Muslims, Catholics, Buddhists, Hindus, etc., at this time that still have one case or more of COVID with no God, no Allah, no Buddha, no Shiva, no Bible, no Quran, no Torah, no pride, no prayer, no beads of prayer, no holy water, no chanting, no fasting to save you or your ancestors historically, should be surprised when you hear this message, because you have always known you are not the people that were freed out of Africa with my ancestors. Your surprise comes because you're hearing it and you wanted me to be a white man named Jesus Christ, which would equate to a Roman or a Greek person, more so Greek. But we'll talk about that later. But yet and still, you would have thought that what you had placed perpendicular against the straight path that God had wanted for me and needs for me, more so needs, because it's God's will, would be detoured because of you, the same people that I just have been speaking about, a moment before, about 50 something seconds coming in right now. But anyways, so what I want to say more than anything is that